Well, all right. It looks like we're actually going to advance the plot a little bit this time, you guys. But before we get into it, let's get into this. All right. We are back. The comments are hopping. Episode 4, The Gathering Storm, Book of Boba Fett breakdown. I'm here. I got Bailey. I got Josh. We're back at it again for you guys. But before we get into anything, before we start down that road, Josh, how are you doing, sir? It's good to see you.
I'm fabulous. I'm living.
That's not a good start. Josh, you froze up there for a second.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Okay. We got yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm living the dream, man. I'm good.
Okay. Well, hopefully that rectifies itself pretty quickly because you and your computer are apparently not on the same sheet of music about how good you are. Bailey, I know you're into the school year and everything like that. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you.
I'm always happy when we're close to Friday, so I am well, Paul. Thank you.
Awesome. All righty. So let's get over to the comments because it is hopping already, you guys. This is from 9:26 p.m. last night. So
Wow.
Just in case he's back, good to see you. Tyler the Nerd, G-Force, and Left Coast Rick. My name is Boba Fett. Yeah. Oh, there's Darth Muzza. All right. Good to see you. Yeah, it's always good to see you. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now we can start getting really serious about this. We got Chet Legend Gilster in the house. Good to see you, Gil.
Hey, Gilly.
All right. One of the most professional looking human beings on the planet in his icon. We got Gary Moore. Looking super. Looks like he's running for office or something, doesn't he? Flex, good to see you, man.
Vote Gary.
Vote Gary, yeah. Vote Gary Moore. Flex. There we go. You know how I do when he comes. We got Scuba Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah. Let's come on down here. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Hey, there we go. Jason, good to see you.
Jason.
Oh, so I don't think I've seen that name before. If I have, I apologize. But Tina, good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, that's Tina. She's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
I'm bringing people in.
I was gonna say, having you guys around really helps me be more
She's everywhere. Trust me. You'll see her around.
All right, cool. All right, let's get on down here. Oh, here we go. Hey, Paul. It's good to see you, Linda. And she never forgets. Hey, Bailey and Josh. All right. There you go, Bailey. You got your backups here.
Hey, Shanti.
Yep. Hi, Shanti.
Rolando. How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, Michael. Always around, Michael. Love you, buddy. All right, let's keep on going down here. See if we see any other new. What's up, cool kids? Steve-O.
Hey, Steve-O.
And we got Joe Blake Skywalker.
Joe Blake.
And hey, y'all guys, give it American. Yeah, Peter over here from the help me out, New Zealand. I knew I'd think of it in a second there. Brain doesn't work this late at night. All right, let's get on down here. Get on to everybody saying hi to each other. Man, this is awesome. Oh, hey! So there's my buddy KC, who I talk about quite a bit. And his name is actually going to come up towards the end of this because he has a connection to someone else who has a connection. And they're all my friends. And we'll get into that. But Case, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Tina. Yeah, I was just going to skip over it. But Tina, she had to throw that up there, Josh.
She does. She does.
Yeah, okay. Oh, here you go.
Hey,
JT. Yep. Yeah, I think there's another new name, Dragon Buddy. Oh,
hey, Dragon Buddy.
Yeah, clone helmet on. There's a potential backup for you, Bailey. He's got a clone helmet on in his photo, so he might be a Clone Wars guy too.
Backup's good.
Yeah, let's get on down here. Wow. Okay. Yep. John, good to see you, man. Sleeping.
Hey, sleeping.
All right, it is hopping already. We are into this. I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is so much fun, but it's much more if you participate in the comments and we can use you to help drive the conversation. And at some point, sometimes, Bailey or even me, it's awesome. So, Josh, we're going to do something a little different this time. I normally start with you because you're the guest. And hold on here. Can you guys hear me okay? It looks like we're having an interesting situation there. Okay. All right. I apologize for that. we're going to start with Bailey because I always start with you, Josh, and we'll have her get us going on the plot and stuff like that, and then we'll move over to you if you're cool with that, Josh.
I am totally okay with that.
Oh, really quick though. There's Crazy.
Hey, Crazy.
Good to see you. But more importantly, not that you're not important, Crazy, but check this out. There's Christian over Smuggler's
Hey,
Cave.
Christian.
I should not be awake. I hope Bailey doesn't lose.
Not at all.
That's not everyone died this week. I hope you resolve your issues with the BBC. So yeah, I told him that we couldn't do the show over there in England because the BBC had turned us down because we didn't have enough chips and biscuits. Okay, Bailey, as we talked about before we got online, you know how they started this one. We went straight to the, what did you guys call it? The back to Tank of Remembrance, or
yeah, what did you call it, Josh?
The flashback to Tank.
Oh, there you go.
Flashback to Tank.
Yeah, I mean, we open with that immediately and go right into the usual stuff. So, I mean, that's fine. I didn't mind that. I mean, it's pretty much whole episode was flashback until the end, which again was fine with me too. Because it actually told a good story. I will start off by saying I liked this episode.
Okay, so we'll start off with Bailey. Bailey, we hit right in there, flashback to Tank, and he's over here at Jabba's palace. What's going on here? What did you think of it? And kind of get us started, ma'am.
Well, I first want to say that just like I'm seeing in the comments, I did really enjoy this episode. It's my favorite so far. So when I first saw the back to Tank, I was like, oh, God, like, like already, like from the get-go, like, all right, let's do this. But what's going on here is he is actually he's scouting Jabba's palace, to get his ship. We find out that his ship, I don't know what we call it anymore, but it was the Slave One is inside, and he's kind of scouting the place out, and he hasn't been able to get in because he has seen there's a lot of guards. It's pretty inconsistent. I don't know the layout. So yeah, he's just kind of scouting the place out right now to get that ship back, which yay, finally we see a ship. Yeah.
So Bailey brings up a good point, Josh. This was one of probably a good 6 or 7 questions minimum that we got answered in this episode, but specifically this one. What did you think of this scene, and how they worked it out? And did it bother you, or are you cool with it?
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, it looked fine. I mean, he's got to scope things out and see what's going on, and it was nice to kind of see more of the palace. And yeah, I liked it. And it didn't look bad. I think in the entire episode, in general, was in a lot more shadow and like at night and in darker rooms, and I really feel like that helped the issues that I've had with the production looking off to me. I feel like everything looked too bright, and I think having everything be a little bit darker kind of helped. And I kind of like seeing Boba kind of stake things out and do what he probably would have done as a bounty hunter.
Agree. He acted, at least in these scenes, he acted a little bit more like what I had anticipated. And this was the first time we had seen him as less than 100% plot proof, that I actually enjoyed it, because he's looking down and he's like, nope, still too many guards, can't do it. As opposed to just like, what, you ever seen the Rambo movies where he just absolutely can't get hit? Or what's my favorite one, Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's just standing in the open and no one can hit him. At least they didn't do that here. So, and
he said there's still too many guards, which means he's probably come and staked it out a few times to see, what's going on, and he's just not feeling comfortable with the situation, which of course leads to what happens later.
Right. I agree. See what's going on here real quick. All right. I'm not catching it. Sometimes it's hard to tell. All right. Anyway, so we'll move on. So he realizes that, holds on to his bantha, and then heads out back into the desert. And we get our day to night transition. And Josh, you mentioned this, so we're going to stick with you, and then Bailey, we'll head over to you. I thought this was kind of interesting. Josh, what do you think of this and what's going on?
Yeah, here? I thought it was cool. I didn't know Tatooine had 3 moons, so there you go. Right? I mean, if 2 suns means it's twice as hot during the day, 3 moons means it's 3 times as cold. I don't know, but it's still pretty cool looking. So it was kind of a nice little, that kind of stuff I don't mind, because that's not really an Easter egg. That's more of something that enhances the universe of Star Wars. That I'm all about things like that, little bitty things that kind of help you understand where you are and what things are like there. So yeah, I thought it was cool.
Cool. Bailey, did you catch that, and what did you think?
I thought it was great. I've always loved like the twin suns and having multiple moons and whatnot. So no, I thought it was a really nice shot.
Paul seems to be having conversations with himself. Is anyone else concerned? Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, Christian, but yes,
yeah.
Thank you. You okay, Paul?
Yeah. Every now and then I look over in the comments because, side note, technical things here from a producer standpoint, because, that's I'm the engineer producer here. I'm trying to pay attention to you guys by looking into the camera so that you see that I'm part of this. But I see you down here. The pictures are over here, and I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. And sometimes I'll look over in the chat, and I want to make sure that, like, is somebody saying something they're not supposed to? So it's really hard, and I want everybody to feel sorry for me. This job is tough. Well, you guys are convincing. Thanks. All right, I'm moving on. Oh, okay. So
sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
It's your show, man.
I know. Yeah, exactly, Christian. Yeah, all right. There's Andy. Good to see you, man. Andy. And you know what, Shanti, I'm trying to, but I want you guys to be part of this too because it kind of helps me out. Oh yeah, and Michael knows. I'm tired because I did 2 videos in one day. I did a figure overview earlier, so. Oh, go away for 5 days, Billy, and the mailbox backs up. But anyway,
don't ignore the entire chat, but you can ignore Shanti. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, JT. Yeah, I'm helping. I'm helping really good. All right, but moving right along. Bailey, let's start with you on this one. As soon as I saw this, I kind of knew what was going on, and now here's where we are. Tell us what's going on here, and are you happy that we got here this fast, or did you want things to kind of drag out more?
No, I kind of wanted this. This whole episode was kind of what I wanted from the get-go, because this whole episode is basically talking about Fennic and Boba's relationship, how they got together. And what we're seeing here is that connection to the Mandalorian, where he is, Fennic got shot in the gut, and he is like, he doesn't see that, but he goes and investigates that and eventually finds Fennic. So no, I thought this was it was definitely a finally moment, because this is something that I think everyone's been waiting for, especially since we were kind of what's going on with Fennic in the last episode. So yeah, no, this is great. I love that. I do like it when the stories start to seamlessly come together. So no, this is great.
What was I going to ask you, Josh? I forgot. I was going to ask you something that I completely forgot. But as far as the placement of this and where this event happens, right, wrong, cool, crazy?
No, it was cool. But I'm going to be a nitpicky nerd,
please,
and point out that the indication to everyone that watched that episode of The Mandalorian at the end, when you see Boba's feet walk up to Fennec's body. We knew it was Boba because we heard that spur sound that his armor makes.
Oh.
He's not wearing his armor. So what was making that sound?
Yeah, that's just his Foley sound. When he's
trying
walking.
Not to be nitpicky, but we'll get into other plot holes later. Hashtag why is Max Rebo and Bib Fortuna alive? Anyway.
I remember the question I have. Josh, I'll pose this question to you. Bailey, if you know the answer, I want you to jump in and just say. So if I'm understanding this correctly, he still hasn't got Fennec, and he still hasn't gotten his armor and stuff like that. So he's been wandering the desert or been with the Tuskens for close to 5 years.
Close to 5 years.
Based on the timeline we know from Mandalorian. Is that correct, Josh?
Yeah, and later in the episode, he talks about, all those years ago when he lost his armor. So he was definitely there a lot longer than it made us think. It seemed like he was only hanging out with them like 6 to 8 weeks. He was apparently there for years, which is, that's great. But
okay.
See, Scuba knows.
It was spur of the moment. Oh God. So So he was with maybe the Tuscans 3-4 years, wandering by himself, checking on Jabba's palace 2-3 years, somewhere in there. So it's a lot longer than we're led to believe in these quick episodes, right?
Yeah.
Bailey, from your perspective, did they do a good job of helping us understand the time passage here, or was it a little jarring to you when you saw those flares go up and like, oh, we're here at Mando? It doesn't seem that long.
Yeah, I have to say, with the timeline, and normally I'm really good with stuff like this, but I'm confused. This is something that is like, okay, so we don't have clarification really on like how long he was like in the Sarlacc pit, you know, how long was he with the Tuscans, and like it just seems like, and I joke about this with somebody a lot, is like I feel like sometimes we forget our own story, so like that's why there's plot holes where that the whole timeline and sequencing seems a little discombobulated, but yeah, I'm a little confused too.
Okay. So if I told you that you like, clearly you have to kind of really pay attention, especially for the plot line, that's not being too critical because you kind of do, right?
No, I feel like you should, because I mean, like everyone's pointed it out. People notice things, and when you're super freaks like us, yeah, you're gonna remember, and you're gonna, yeah. So.
Well, I would like it. The one thing that it kind of makes me wish that we had gotten more Tuscan flashbacks. You know, something to really indicate that it had been a long time, like him, I don't know, changing wraps with them, or making, you know, collecting food, or I mean, I know he got water or whatever, but that was at the very beginning. So I would have liked to have seen him like maybe helping them move their structures from one encampment to the other, or something like that, just something to show that he'd been with them for a while. And we really got no indication of that. It was kind of a quick thing, it seemed.
Fair enough. So full disclosure ahead of time, Casey, I mentioned earlier, is my friend, but he's also in LA in the industry. So I tend to take a lot of what he says, you know, like if Casey says it, that's you can probably bank on that. So he agrees with you guys too. They really needed to do something. And those were some good suggestions too, Josh. I didn't even think about that. Oh, Alan, thank goodness. I could see.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what does Tina say? Yeah, this show's been a little ambiguous about the timeline. And as Star Wars nerds, yeah, right. Yeah, we're the worst for that too, or the best, depending on how you want to put it. So yeah, absolutely, G4. I don't think that was the problem. As soon as we all saw those flares, am I right, guys? We knew exactly what was going on.
Oh yeah.
And you know what, Rick's like, I think we still get at least one more cool flashback. Well, let's hit that real quick. Bailey, are we done with the flashbacks, or do we get it one more cool one?
I mean, if we are gonna have one, I want to know what's going on with Camino. I'm tired of that tease, and I was kind of hoping they would elaborate it on, but let's finish that. I'm tired of the, you know, here's Camino, and we're moving on. Here's Camino, moving on. Like, but I want them to elaborate on that.
So
yeah, I'm really
cool
afraid that's going to be left. Oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So go, Josh. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I'm really concerned that that's just not going to be explored any further.
Because they really lingered on just the Camino flashbacks last episode. So I'm shocked we didn't get anything this time. Okay. All right. So he sees the flares. We all know what happens. We all kind of suspected it from the Mandalorian. This, of course, a bunch of other things cemented it. He walks up, he picks up Fennec for some strange reason, realizes she's not dead. Bailey, I'd like to start with you. And then we get this.
I hated this. There was nothing about this. Was probably, guys, I really liked the episode, don't get me wrong, but if there was one sequence that bothered me, it was this whole bit right here. Everything about this just makes me sigh. Yes. This is the mod, whatever, modification, whatever. Yeah.
The mod parlor.
There we go. Yep, that just shows how much I enjoy.
Because it's like a tattoo parlor, where you go to get modifications, and that's why I'm calling these kids the Mod Squad from now on.
I have to disagree, Jason. I have a pretty sweet tattoo, and I'd rather take that than whatever supply kids nonsense is going on here.
Yeah, I just assume you not cut your arm off and put a C-3PO arm on, Bailey. I like that better. So
yeah, no, I like art. This is something.
Right. I get the feeling Jason's being a little facetious on that one, though, for sure. You know what? There you go. Yeah. Gilstra's with you, Bailey. Um,
I'm glad somebody is.
yeah, a lot of people are. You want to cross to go with that martyr? I'm just kidding. Josh, so the aesthetic, the bikes, when I looked at this, I was like, what am I seeing? What's wrong with this?
The Vespas, that's what's wrong with it.
What are you cool? All right, the graffiti then is are you cool with the graffiti and stuff and the kids out front?
You know, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a rundown part of town, maybe, or whatever, a little outpost in the middle of nowhere, sort of hole in the wall. So, yeah, I could see that, especially if there's a bunch of, you know, young adults hanging out, being ruffians. So, yeah, I could see it. That didn't really bother me so much.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it still looked like Star Wars for the most part, but the Vespas, I just can't. They're doubling down on it. They're like, oh, by the way, don't forget about these. They're still there. And that was what immediately turned me off about it. And then there's what happens on the inside, but that's a whole other story.
We'll get to that in just a second. Bailey, one more question about this before we move inside. Episode 1, season 2 of The Mandalorian, he's walking through, and that all of that is just graffitied up. Yeah. So we got used to that. Did the graffiti here bother you, or are you cool with it because it's like kind of the same thing?
I mean, honestly, yeah, it wasn't the graffiti that got my attention. I was just like, God, I hate those bikes. And we weren't outside long enough for me to really linger on it. It's, as Josh said, it's what was going on the inside that drove me nuts. So yeah, no, that didn't bother me.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, Sabine was a graffiti artist on Rebels, so she was all about tagging things and spray painting them different colors and stuff like that. So it's not out of the realm of Star Wars.
True, and she was super tactical colors with her armor too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
She
blended in so well.
At all. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she blended in something. That's what's All right, well, Tina's making a point here, so we'll just move on. Josh, I'd like to start with you because you provided a picture that you wanted to compare and contrast. So we get inside and go. What you got for me, brother?
So we get inside and we get this guy who, to me, looks like he auditioned to be in The Matrix and didn't get the part, and then just said, well, I'll try Star Wars. And then here he is. I mean, I know he's some sort of musician, and it's supposed to be some of his music that's playing. And the music's pretty cool initially when you first walk in, but then it gets a little bit weird later. But to me, he does not fit with what you see in the images at the end of the episode that show the production art, the pre-production art, the concept designs for the scene. And, there we go. That looks like Star Wars. That other does not look like Star Wars to me. It looks like some sort of sci-fi channel, silly, I don't know, cyborg movie. It's Cyborg 3 with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, and the overall aesthetic of it just was off-putting to me. It did not feel like Star Wars, and I don't understand what was lost in translation from that art design to the finished product, and what the driving force was behind the decisions that led to what we ended up with. And why in the heck is it that only humans seem to be the ones that get modifications? You know, the diversity of Star Wars is aliens and droids and people from all different planets all over this vast galaxy, but we just see people, just like teenage humans that get modifications where aliens don't need them. So I don't know. I feel like there's something more to all of it as far as what they're trying to do.
It looks like a lot of people agree with you too. Josh, and he just kind of seemed a bit out of place. The piercings don't seem Star Wars to me.
No, it reminds me of people I see on the street every day. And Star Wars takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There is nothing that we should see that should ever remind us of what we see around us from day to day. And they're all aliens. None of them are humans. None of them are from Earth, you know? And it just, to me, what allows us to relate to Star Wars is the universal aspects of the characters, and the nature of the humor and the adventure that they're going through, and their overall plight, the hero's journey, and there's a certain aspect of every person in one character or another in Star Wars, but it's more about their personality, not about the way they look, because they're supposed to look like something alien, because it's escapism at its best. It's supposed to take us away from the reality that we're in. I mean, it was made in the years after the end of the Vietnam War. People wanted to go to the movies and not be reminded of the politics around them. People wanted to be transported away to a galaxy far, far away. And this doesn't do that for me. This reminds me of the guy down the street that begs for money at the 7-Eleven.
Fair enough. Bailey, I'm going to get over to you because I'd love to get your opinion on how this made you feel. But Tina brings it up, and I knew his name getting in this chair, and now I've forgotten it. He is a musician, and as they're walking up, the music that's playing is different. It's this guy's actual music. He's a bass player, I think, and it's actually not bad. Yeah. But when they start the modding montage, I wanted to get I love that. I love that stuff, but it just didn't belong here. It felt
I needed a pacifier and some glow sticks, and I was just gonna...
right.
But I mean, it's no slant on him. He did the best he could with what he was given. But it's just, they should have done something different with his character as far as the overall aesthetic.
Bailey, Josh had a pretty comprehensive take on that. I'd love to hear if you have something to add or how this made you feel while we were in this mod shop and doing all that stuff.
I was just annoyed because it's like when I imagined, the resurrection of Fennic, this took away so much. It really took away the seriousness of the situation. I'm going into this like hot topic-y place, and like I can't take anything seriously. And the music the music is very like integral to like storytelling. And when you're playing that, and like nothing, like I know like we're in fiction and we're supposed to suspend our reality a bit, but nothing made sense. The fact that they just did it out in the open, it wasn't like a surgery, there's no blood.
And there was no sense of urgency about the fact that she's basically dead or dying. They're just like, oh, okay, we'll deal with this. You got enough money, we're fine.
Yeah, there was just no, and the fact that she, it was bizarre to me. Everything about it, none of it made sense. And I get that we're dealing with Disney and we can't have much gore and whatnot. But even if it was like just a facility and like that procedure was done like off camera or something like there are other ways to like tell that this is like something important is going on. But this was all just a joke to me. And it just really took away from Fennic's story a little bit of like, this is like, she's coming back from the dead and she's becoming like part AI. And we get like this EDM, whatever. I don't know. I just was, like I said, guys, this was the one part of the episode that I just could not like wrap my head around.
Well, I also wonder, how is that going to play into things later? Is she okay with the mod squad, or is she, kind of against them? Because he asked him why he didn't cover her up at the end, and he's like, well, I want that beautiful work to show. But then Fennic does cover it up, as if she doesn't want people to see. Maybe she just doesn't want people to see that she's got some sort of vulnerability, or it looks like a sign of weakness or whatever. I don't know. Or it could just be that she doesn't like the fact that she's a cyborg, and she may have issues with people like that have modifications. So I'm wondering if perhaps Boba hiring them could be cause for Fennic to, maybe have doubts with her loyalties to Boba. Or is it going to concrete it more because he embraced these people as he has embraced her?
Bailey, you look like you got something you're about to say.
I know. I'm just like, sorry. I get distracted by the comments too. It's like one other thing I want to point out, and like just like her injury in general. This was like abdominal surgery. There's a lot going on. She's a human being. So not only is there no blood, but like you're not just replacing an arm. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like abdominal surgery. And it just, nothing about it. There was no urgency. And yeah, she was shot. But again, you're still dealing with blood and guts in the abdomen. So yeah, I didn't get that. Yeah, no.
Fair enough. So someone said it earlier, and I thought they were being silly. I guess this guy's name really is Thundercat.
Thundercat, yeah, that is
Thundercat, yeah, and he's actually a really talented musician, and I'm sure he is. And for what they gave him, I thought he did a great job. Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Alan. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And like I said, someone said it earlier that he was Thundercat, but I didn't know what that meant, but now I get it. Fun fact, I think I told you guys before we got in here, before he pulls one part of his arm on and puts this on, he's wearing a B2 battle droid arm as his arm that he got modded with. I thought that was an interesting callback to the Clone Wars.
It's definitely an odd choice as well if you're doing precision work to have that big clunky 3-fingered robot hand.
Yeah, because it was kind of
Again, I feel like that was more of a look at this callback, look at this Easter egg, and it's I don't know, whatever. I wanted to see something that was new and unique. Maybe he had some kind of really cool hand that was really cool, intricate with its work and stuff. But no.
Well, he did. He just had to switch it to the.
He had to switch it to that one.
He had to switch to that one. Yeah, that Crazy makes a good point. Would that have added some gravitas to the situation if, in addition to the money, Boba's like, screw this up and that's it?
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. I think that definitely would have, and it would have again been more in the character that we wanted to see, or at least expected to see out of the story. And I don't have a problem with them changing the dynamic of the character around, but I definitely want to see more of what caused that change, not just I spent a bunch of time with the Tuskens and we didn't really see much of it. Right.
Bailey, would that have made the scene better for you if there's something like that had happened, like what Crazy's talking about?
I mean, in a way, he kind of did that with like the money, but I it's not how he got her help. It's just, I don't know. It just this whole scene just seems like a joke. Just kind of like in the earlier ones where he's like, we need to talk to the mayor. Do you have an appointment? Like, it was like that kind of goofiness to me. Like, there's no urgency. And yeah, and like I said, I know this is fiction, but like the fact that, yeah, it was like she was getting a tattoo, not like full-blown abdominal surgery where she's like getting robot parts inside her stomach. But that's beside the point. That's just, I mean, there's more to talk about, but yeah.
So Cyberpunk it's right up, what did we say? What's that game that came out recently? A lot of these scenes look like that, but JT makes a good point. This was kind of like Pimp My Crime Partner. Mm-hmm. That MTV show, that was good, JT. I like that.
He was going to give her hydraulics and everything. It was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
She was going to walk through sort of bouncing.
Anyway. Give her a nice colorful paint job. Oh, so yeah, you know what, Casey, right, something. They needed her to be indebted to him, thus the credits, but I'm not defending a bad scene. Yeah, fair enough. And it could have been cool. It wasn't our cup of tea as far as the aesthetic. It didn't seem like Star Wars. It seemed out of place. So
yeah. No, it fit the storytelling for sure. Just the look of it felt off.
Agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. Foxy Root got here late. First of all, good to see it, Foxy. But yeah, in my opinion, the new younger gang of our body modifiers, whatever, doesn't fit in Star. Yeah, it's a little awkward. I see what they're trying to do, but it's just, and it's not Tatooine for us either. Is that what you guys were saying?
Yeah, and I mean, there are characters like that in Star Wars. It's just the way that they've always looked in other media has been different. I'm expecting more of a Lobot-looking character, not
right.
Whatever this is, not Alita Battle Angel.
Right, yeah. Glowing eyes and weird stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right.
And it is very cyberpunk.
Very, very, very. Yeah. It's just too sci-fi. I want science fantasy. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So
if they were wearing like robes and had laser swords, then it'd be okay.
Thank you. Yeah, see, Bailey knows. Get some space wizards up in this thing, for God's sake. That might save it.
I miss them, guys. I really do.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Anakin's a cyborg. Luke is a cyborg. I mean, it's all throughout. But look at how they looked, and look at I don't know.
Yeah, we could go on this forever. Yeah, it's Tatooine, not Moduine. Yeah. Tina's like, obviously you can still eat somehow. So, Gary, Hasbro releases Cyberpunk figures and y'all are passing these Black Series. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so, I'll still buy them.
I know. Oh, God. Put them in the vintage collection. I'm buying 4 by accident. You know how I am.
I'll still buy them. Yeah. That's whatever.
Anyway,
That's neither
So
here
he-
nor there.
they we could go. We got to do a collecting channel. Wait, that's what this is. A collecting stream. That's what we would do. But yeah. So Bailey, he picks her up and he gets her out of there and takes her, and they go do Campfire 101. And she wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
How she reacted to being saved and finding this stuff out. Thoughts, opinions. Tell us what's going on here a little bit.
Well, she's in a. I mean, describing like shock and whatnot is tricky because people do react to things interestingly. And to be fair, it's a lot to absorb. The last thing she remembers is being, gunned down, and then the next thing she's up, and there's this man and this bantha and this campfire, and something feels off probably. And then she looks down and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm like part robot. Like, what's going on?" So yeah, I didn't find anything off about this. Like, to me it made sense. She's like, who are you? And of course, as Boba does, like a million times in this show, is I'm Boba Fett. And I did like the interaction here where she's like, oh, Boba Fett's dead. And so yeah, I like this, and this immediately tells us that they didn't have like a previous relationship. Like, they might have known who the other was, but they weren't like friends or anything like that. So I did like that, of just like that instant, like, yeah, we don't know each other. I saved your life. And I think right now this is when he explains, like, I need my ship, and since I saved your life, you're gonna help me. And then what I like about Fennic in this is she's even, I don't know if this was the scene, but she does like negotiate, like, I will help you do this, but I like my freedom. Which makes her choices later interesting, because now we know, okay, now she doesn't feel indebted to him, because this is a flashback, and so we know that in the future she's doing things of her own free will. But I liked it. It was like the good amount of just the exposition to the point. This is the stuff I like, guys. Like, get to the point. Like, this is who I am. This is what I need. And yeah, I thought it was great. It was to the point, and it was like, okay, now I know where this episode's going. Now they're gonna work together to get this ship, and yeah, I like this scene.
Nice. Josh, Bailey had a pretty good comprehensive view on that one. What do you think?
No, I enjoyed the scene. I enjoyed the content of it. I was disappointed to find out that they didn't have history. To me, I mean, it's this vast galaxy and everything, but it still seems like a really small world. And everybody seems to know each other. And you would think, as this master assassin, that there might be a chance that she would have done a job for the Hutt Syndicate at some point and been there in that chamber with Boba there, and they would have at least crossed paths a little bit, some sort of professional courtesy nod to one another or something along those lines. So it does seem odd to me that they didn't have any sort of history, but I'm kind of okay with it, especially if they do actually end up bringing Omega into it at some point, because she does have history with her. And perhaps she could end up being the connection between Boba and Omega. Maybe she could explain to Boba who that is. Maybe he wouldn't know. So that could be interesting.
Flex makes a good, I was disappointed. It's kind of a strong word. I was a little surprised because everybody had postulated, including us on this
not
very
disappointed.
show.
I would say surprised. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think maybe it was you, Josh, said maybe in the next episode or the next season of Bad Batch, we get some more, and that's where they run into each other. But here you go. They just knew each other by reputation. She knew who Boba Fett was. He recognized her, but that was it. No backstory. You mentioned it. A little shock. Bailey, you just said, am I right? You like, that's what you thought was going to happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you can know of people, even if you're in the same guild. Like, not every Jedi knew each other personally. They know of them, but like, they're not like buddy. So like, it just didn't. Sure, like, I'm not saying like what Josh was thinking was out of line when we have more Bad Batch coming up, but it did not surprise me when they don't, especially something like bounty hunting. You're not in it to make friends. You're in competition with each other.
Yeah.
So like them being friends seems like off, you know, like because yeah, you're in constant competition. It's like this is why Sith aren't besties. You know, they're out to kill each other. You know, they have the same goal. So I was not surprised at all that they didn't know each other. You can know of somebody, but that doesn't mean you're friends.
Very, very true.
I guess I wanted to feel like she had a stronger bond with Boba so that I didn't doubt her loyalties. Now I find myself doubting them a little bit because she's only there because it's just a job. So, hey, Vern.
By the way, there's Vern from over at Oakhurst Studios. Good to see you. You know what, Tina? I'm okay with them having no history partner. I agree. She'll be a bridge between Omega and Boba. Wow, I had forgotten all about Omega.
Yeah, you guys really like Bad Batch.
I love Omega. Everybody hates on her. I think she's great.
In every single episode.
I could. Bailey and I talked behind the scenes. Star Wars is Star Wars, and I love it. But I already don't like the animation as much as I like the live action. And it was a slog, Bailey, getting through.
I know. And like, I'm here to talk about Boba Fett, but we always keep talking about Bad Batch, and y'all, I got like PTSD from that. So you want to do that, you got to do that somewhere else. Sorry, not with me.
Oh my goodness, you know, whereas bounty hunters have chat rooms. Come on, yeah, exactly.
Again, even a chat room, you can know of somebody, but you're not friends.
Oh my god.
Just like mixers. So somebody say like the Jedi don't have mixers. Hey, they have parties at workplaces all the time. It doesn't mean I know them personally. Like, you know, like I know of them.
Hey, there's that scary woman who kills people for a living over there in the corner. Yeah, let's go over here, Bosk. Right? Yeah. Oh, so Bailey, this hasn't bothered you too much, but Josh and I keep noticing it, and it keeps bothering me. And it's almost like, you know, the gods or something was listening, Josh, because this time when we see the Gamorrean guards, they seem to be better dressed and a little chunkier. Did you catch that?
Definitely, they're a little bit thicker. They had their furry pants back. Yeah, they were looking more like big boys. I guess they just had gone hungry for a while. I don't know. Maybe they got to keep up on their heavy diet, or else they start shedding weight fast. Right. But they definitely still look different than the ones in Jabba's palace. I know they're supposed to be the same ones, but they're like their headgear is different. So yeah, but they're close. They've got like the shoulder pads and that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're pretty close.
Right. I thought you'd get a kick out of that because we see a quick look into what do you call it? Jabba's palace here. Kind of this photo's a little out of context because we don't get in until later. But when I saw this, I'm like, oh, there's the Gamorrean guards I remember, except for the strange looking masks. Bailey, I know this isn't your jam. Did you catch it? Do you care? Did you notice?
No.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I always get a little nervous when we get into this line because I'm like, I have nothing to contribute. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, and that's why I don't drag you down these holes if you don't want to go with us. Because last episode, Josh and I geeked out on Rancors for a good 10 minutes, and I could see you eyes rolling in the back.
10 minutes? I think that's.
Was it
those pants are hot?
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuzzy,
especially on Tatooine.
Oh, so man. Pete, I get what you're talking about here. Does anybody else get this reference from Shawshank Redemption? When the poster on the wall and they can't find Andy, and he's like, "What say you, fuzzy britches?" And he throws the rock and it goes through the poster. Yeah, okay. I get you, Pete. I get you, dog. Oh, you know what? We're gonna take a moment here. Christian, what is it? 19 o'clock in the morning over there. I have to hit the hey guys, catch you on the rewind. Thanks for stopping by, Christian. I appreciate that.
Christian, get some rest, buddy.
Yeah. The good mornings in this episode didn't look like they skipped leg day. Oh, yeah. Fuzzy britches are shaved legs. Are they shaving their legs and that's just natural? Oh, Gary.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Nobody wants to think of that. Oh, goodness. Anyway. Okay. So he takes her over to Jabba's palace because she's agreed, as Bailey astutely pointed out. She's like, I'm going to do this one job with you, and then my debt is sealed because, you know, you dropped credits and, you know, and all that other stuff. And we get the conversation where he talks about why he's doing what he's doing here. Which one of you want to lead off on what's going on here in this conversation and what you thought of that?
Josh, you want to go? Because I think I led last time.
No, you're good. Okay, what part are we? What part are we doing?
Bailey, So he cuts.
He has
his,
like 12 conversations around a campfire in this episode, so they all
I
kind of blend
know.
together.
I know.
See, that was my way as a teacher. Sometimes I'm like slow on the uptake, and the kid says something, and I need a moment to think, so I just put it back on them, and that's what I just did to you. So
Yeah,
You're
damn
getting, you're getting
I-
studentized.
I do that a lot. Sorry, guys.
So
so set us up again, Paul.
Let me set you guys up then. I
Take
thought I
two.
did a.
Okay,
I thought I did
thank you.
oh my God, you guys are killing me. Love you both. Anyway, so this is the picture where he starts. No. Everybody needs to sit up, stop, put on your serious face, and pay attention. This is serious business.
I took notes again.
Well, they're not doing you any good, apparently.
No, I'm just not paying attention to you. Anyway, go ahead.
Fair
fine.
enough.
Come on.
Yeah, I love you guys too.
Love you.
Yeah, this is close, Tina. We're close. I think it's the next campfire.
Okay. Now I remember.
What?
See, the chat doesn't even know. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, this is a pretty distinct photo, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's really easy to pick out.
I've seen that shot of Boba like 50 times in this show at this point.
So anyway, this is the one where he explains to her, I want to get my ship because I've got some debts to repay. And then I'm going to...
When he wimps out on using the name, he just calls it a fire spray.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
specifically for me, and we'll talk about that in just a second, because I thought Disney they went right down the middle on that one.
Yeah.
But this is the one where, as we're watching, you start to get an idea of what his motivations are, why he's doing what he's doing. He's talking about the Tuscans, and she says they made you soft, and he's like, no, I learned it, without a tribe, and I want to do my own family and this and that and the other. I need my ship, and then I'm going to go kill Bib Fortuna. Remember? And for me, here's the question I have for you guys. This is when I was 100% cemented. They should have gone chronological on this, because now that we're this far into the flashbacks, the stuff he's doing in present day makes more sense to me. It has more weight. It has more meaning. Bailey, am I nuts? Or do you agree with me on the chronological thing?
No, I agree. I think and I think it seems like everyone feels that way. That's the thing that makes this show a little like just off, is the chronology. We don't know. And when again, ironically enough, this show is called The Book of Boba Fett, but this is like the most disorganized book ever, where if I was reading this, I'd be like, where are we at? Like, when is this happening? So yeah, no, I agree with you, Paul. This should have been chronological. I mean, that's how I write. That's how everyone writes. So I don't know what's going on here. Again, I feel like they just have different people writing every time, even though if you look at the credits, it's the same one or two people. So I don't know.
Josh?
Well, I am very curious as to how it was shot, though. Did they shoot it chronologically and then re-edit it separately later, or how did they do it? I mean, I guess they didn't do it. I guess they would have shot each episode individually. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind the flashbacks, but yeah, it probably would have benefited to have just told it chronologically. But then, at what point do you just start with the Sarlacc and go from there? And then again, how much time do you spend? I guess maybe they feared they didn't really have enough storytelling to tell with the Tuscans to really fill full episodes. Plus, I think they also kind of wanted people to see what parts of the present coordinate, with what he experienced in the past. So I guess maybe the flashbacks are supposed to somehow apply to what his experiences presently are. But I haven't really seen how they do. But yeah, so I'm not really sure what the goal was. But I didn't mind it so much. But yeah, it may have benefited from it. I can't really say one way or the other. I feel like there may have been some holes if they had done it that way, especially since he's officially done healing. So
yeah,
is he just going to be dreaming the flashbacks now in his bed or what? Because otherwise he's not getting back into the back of the tank, unless he just gets beat up again, which does happen like every single episode.
So you're saying there's a chance, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But if there's nothing more to tell in the backstory and we're not really going to get any more flashbacks, then it probably is best that they did it the way that they did. Unless they, explored it a little bit more heavily than they did.
Bailey, you look like you're about to add something there. I don't want you to miss out.
Oh no, I was just saying. Josh had mentioned something earlier that I just agreed with 100% is like this whole back and forth wouldn't be a problem if like these flashbacks had connections to the present. And the problem is we just haven't, there's not like a balance. Okay. Like, yeah, like the previous episode, we spent a lot of time in the present, but it's still like, I don't know, like it just seems that, and somebody, I think Tina even said it, like it just feels clunky to me. Like it's just like, it's not that this isn't hard to follow. It's just not, I don't know. It's just, yeah, clunky. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with going flashback to present day to flashback to present day. It just needs to make sense. Yeah. And what we've gotten is just like, here's some flashbacks. It's like we're sprinkling it in, and it doesn't really have a direct tie to what's going on in the present. It just seems like we're going to go in the past now. Now we're in the present. Now we're in the past again. It's just like, like very jarring. And there's just a way to go about it. And I think there might be some weight to what Josh is saying. Is I feel like the making of it was kind of disorganized, and we're seeing that. I don't know. It's not hard to follow. It's just it could be smoother. It's not smooth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For me, maybe I'm a simple guy. Maybe I'm not the smartest human being on the planet. If they had just done this chronologically, for me, like I said, his motivations and his decisions in the present would have made a little bit more sense. I could still follow what's going on, but it didn't, like that campfire scene, you know, apropos of nothing, one picture of Boba Fett. You guys didn't get it. It's my fault. That was where it really hit me. I'm like, okay, now I understand why. Well, you know, I get it. You know, he's changed his tune. He's talking about how many idiots have you worked for? How many times have our people, our clan, he calls himself, gotten killed because these fools can't run their stuff correctly? To heck with that. Let's do it on our own. And I'm like, okay, now this makes sense to me. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the fire spray in the room. I'm going to tell you what he says, and I'm going to tell you what I think Disney was trying to do. And then, Bailey, I want you to tell me if I'm nuts or if you disagree or agree. He says specifically, I need you, Fennic, to help me get my fire spray gunship back. That is the brand and model of the ship that he has. He doesn't say Slave One because all of the things, but he also doesn't say it's not called Slave One. So Disney went right up the middle. Am I nuts? Do you agree? And what did you think of that?
Oh, I think you're 100% right, Paul. I think, funny enough, I think they were doing this to not piss people off. Like, they wanted to avoid one less fight. They wanted to put out a fire, but regardless, you know, we're all insane, and we're going to talk about it anyway. So yeah, I think they just went down the middle. I don't think they know what to do. So sometimes being ambiguous is probably best, because you can like just leave it. If it's Slave One to you, you can call it Slave One, because they didn't, you know, they're not going to call it that. But if they call it something else, like that's not like canon. So I think they did it to not piss people off. So
I think it was genius.
Oh, genius.
Yeah, okay. It was genius. You know, because basically he's specifying to her exactly what kind of ship it is, so that way I guess she can get a mental picture in her head of what they're dealing with. So it fits in the moment, especially because she doesn't know Boba Fett, even though his ship is kind of iconic to him. So you would think that if she does know of him, she might know of his ship as well. But yeah, I mean, it didn't seem out of place in the moment, and it kind of fit with what was going on. So it was pretty smart, I think, on their part. I mean, yeah, they're not taking a stance one way or the other, and it's definitely a way for them to just kind of hide behind the curtain from it all. But that's okay. At least they did it in a way that didn't come off just stupid. So yeah, I was okay with it. It seemed logical.
Fair enough. We're going to take a quick break here because I'm going to head over to the comments. We got to say hi to Mike. Good to see Mike. You. And I saw him in here. Ed. Oh, there he is. Ed 5. Good to see you. And then Bailey, you know, I got to keep Shalom in the home. And she's got a sense of humor. Fresh jokes made daily is what she says. Whoa, it's my wife. Look at me multitasking. So she must have caught the part where I was whining about not being able to do everything all at once. So good to see you too, Sarah. Oh, I love marriage. I highly recommend that everybody get married as quickly as possible. Do you see me blinking? Oh boy, I lost way control of the comments. First prey was makeup ship. Yeah. There were 4 prototypes made. Django stole one and destroyed the other 3 along with the blue. Oh, that's oddly specific. Good for you, Linda. I did not know that. So, alrighty. So he gives his backstory, gives his motivation. She's like, I'm going to do this, but I'm out. But that's cool that you're going to give it a shot and everything like that. And then they head over. He gets. Jeff wants to talk to you when you get down there, Josh.
Hey, Jeff. We'll talk.
Jeff's here too, by the way. I forgot. That's good to see you, Jeff. I appreciate it. At this point, you can have him, Jeff, because I just can't even. He never backs me up when I need him to.
I just can't even. I know.
They get over there, and she's like, how many guards are at Jabba's palace? And he's like, I don't know. Some come in, some come out. Another good line. They didn't make him too smart for Boba Fett, which I thought was cool. That's the way you do it. Not let his ass get kicked by a bunch of people with electro shields. But anyway, I digress. And then my favorite part of this whole episode is apparently, Josh, this ball technology that we mentioned apparently exists in every science fiction universe. What did you think of this? You get a kick out of this, or
absolutely? Yeah, it's always cool to see that stuff. Familiarity. It's connective tissue. Ooh. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
with other franchises.
Exactly. It's all connected. Yeah. It's the multiverse. Come on now. Spider-Man's gonna pop out and everything. It's gonna be great. But yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, it's sci-fi. They have that stuff. Come on,
right?
We all know. But yeah, and it's cool to see some. I always like these kind of visual effects shots. I always think that the 3D models like that always look really cool. I loved in the earlier episode when they were going over like the map of Mos Vespa, and yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So,
yeah, Darth Maul had an old model. His didn't do the 3D modeling. Bailey. Okay, yeah, here we go. It was a mini probe droid. Darth Maul had them in a Phantom Menace, but apparently he had a very old model. What did you think of how they did this scene? Did you get a kick out of these graphics, or did this just like be like for you?
No, I think it's great. It's like everyone's saying it's something familiar. I mean, they did this in Clone Wars all the time. When they needed to infiltrate something, you get the blueprints and you get like we got trouble here. Like, yeah, it's a part of Star Wars. It's no different than them being in a ship or, it's just, yeah. So no problem.
All right. Well, then I'm going to ask you, I'm going to go right back to you then, Bailey, because I want to ask if you have a problem with this. So they decide, even with the two of them, master assassin and the best Boba Fett bounty hunter in the whole universe, that there's still too many guards, which once again, I think is cool. They're not Arnold Schwarzeneggering this, right?
Right.
So they do this. Too easy?
I mean, it makes sense, like what I guess why. I mean, it's not like there's only 2 people. Like, they're still human at the end of the day. Like, they're assassins, yes, but they can only do so much. They don't have like the Force or like any space wizardry at their side to do it. So no, I didn't see any issue with this. They gotta sneak in and they gotta be as quiet as possible. And I mean, that makes sense. That's what an assassin does. They're gonna go through a vent or something. So no. I mean, unless I'm forgetting something, but I didn't have any thoughts with this. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They're gonna sneak in. They're gonna scope the place, and they're gonna do that because they don't have magic or anything. So yeah, ninja moment. There you go.
Jason, Josh, what does your notebook say about how blatantly obvious and easy this was? Cool or no good?
Well, I mean, it's like, again, it was a cool scene, and it was it made sense or whatever, but we talked earlier about how long has he been coming back here and staking the place out. He's Boba Fett, okay? Like, they keep not making him look very good at his job, okay? So you would think he would have found that great, and he would have realized the tools that he would have needed to, maybe bought a little of those probe droids or whatever. Like, I'm sure he could have found some somewhere. If he can take her to get modifications, then I'm sure he could have gone shopping. So I find it hard to believe like that he really needed her for that job. I mean, it's cool, and I love seeing them work together, and I love when they finally get to the ship, and now it's kind of a callback to Attack of the Clones when Boba is no. When Boba is on the ship and Jango's fighting with Obi-Wan, it is very much a callback to that. But then that's another thing. Like, Boba's a terrible driver. Like, he's just hitting the wall and everything with this ship. I mean, come on. It's not that tight a space. They got it in there. You know, I'm just saying.
We'll get to that, Josh, for sure. Because as soon as he started hitting walls, I was like, oh, man, is Josh going to have something to say about this for sure? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
But
yes,
I
mean, it was cool. Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind them sneaking in the way that they did. I feel like, again, Boba just isn't as cool as we thought he was, which is fine with me because I didn't think he was cool to begin with. But, you know, it's whatever.
Right.
So this show is great because it reinforces my opinion of Boba Fett.
Right? Yeah, because you guys were both like, I don't get Boba Fett, is where you were at, Josh, and Bailey's like, I don't know anything about Boba Fett. I'm the one who's
this ain't helping.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think Din Djarin could kick his ass. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Boba's
Absolutely.
Oh my God! You know, someone said, "Hey, if Black Christensen could get in there, how far fetched is this?"
Yeah, I have to say, this is the worst place to live as a ruler. This is shitty. I mean, why live here?
Right.
Same with Arizona. Why live here?
Oh my God, Bailey. Yeah, there's another side topic. Why not to live in Arizona? A live stream with Paul and Bailey cussing and sweating for 2 hours. But anyway, really quick, where was it? Yeah, so for me, I realized that they had to get in somehow and they had to be sneaky. So Instaplot device, and I just woosawed it in my head. Yeah. So yeah, he is rather doofy, and my brother agreed with you, Josh. He's clearly a doofus. So do you hate it more than Jar Jar? Do you hate him more than Jar Jar though, Josh?
Well, no. Well, I don't know. I didn't hate Jar Jar. I just thought there was too much Jar Jar. That's all.
Yeah. Fair.
And Jar Jar
if we gotten about half the Jar Jar, we'd been okay.
And Jar Jar wasn't painted to be this badass. Like, he was a doofus. Yeah. We knew he was a doofus. Where with Boba Fett, it's like I was told that you are a badass, and you are not showing me that. So
I was rewatching the beginning of Return of the Jedi earlier today, where I got some images from, and I don't know. I think Boba is always kind of a doofus. Because his whole fight with them on the skiffs, he does not look like he's particularly adept at what he's doing. He's just kind of like constantly tripping up, and he went out like a punk. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we were delusional.
Get hit by a blind guy. Okay. Yeah. Like an accident.
No. He said the amount of Jar Jar was not acceptable, Casey. He needed less Jar Jar.
Less Jar Jar. Half the Jar Jar.
Yes.
Yeah. Half the Jar Jar.
Pete, me said no need Jar Jar. Oh my God. All right. So they get in. I just wanted to quickly point out something, because this is my favorite part of doing this job, is I know, like, all this inane, ridiculous crap. The stuff that she uses from those little pen, it's a different applicator, but the stuff, that chemical she uses to cut through those bars, is the same chemical that the stormtroopers used to blast the door off of the Tantive 4 at the beginning of A New Hope. They just have it on like what looks like det cord. I read this, and then I read this too. So it's the same stuff, different applicator. Now you know, no one's half the battle, G.I. Joe. Let's move on.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe. Yeah, we're on entirely different stuff. Oh, yeah, JT. She said, Misa better than Boba Fett. We could do this for hours too. Oh my God.
I know, that's what's scary.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There's a video that says that people think that Jar Jar is a Sith, but we can get off on that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Jar Jar. That's why we don't do those shows here. Bailey, I'm gonna go with Josh to begin with on this one. Not to offend you, but you didn't quite recognize these people. Remember we talked? Yeah.
No,
then I had to. You're like,
not my forte. No.
Yeah. This inane crap. Josh, they make it into the kitchen. And we get these guys. Come on, man. Tell me who they are. What's going on here?
Well, you got EV-99, which was really great. And, you know, he was actually voiced by the director of Return of the Jedi, who's passed, but they did a really great job recreating his voice. He sounded just like him, and it was kind of cool seeing him. I guess he's been downgraded from torture boss to
Sous
cook
chef.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Poor guy.
You're right.
Yeah, I guess so. Bib Fortuna wasn't too pleased with his level of productivity or something. But and then we get the Grievous cook droid that we had in the prequels, and he's yeah, I don't know. This whole scene to me, okay.
Here we go.
My beef with this scene, and this scene in many ways kind of ruined the whole get the ship scene because it drug it out and made it a lot longer than it needed to be. And to me, this was like they were making a nod to the scene in The Little Mermaid when Sebastian is running around the kitchen from the French chef. Okay, like it was just silly and very Disney to me, and it seemed very out of place in what should have been a serious scene. They're infiltrating the bad guy's hideout, and then this idiot comes in here, the rat catcher, which might I also add, like I was saying earlier, I was watching Return of the Jedi, and when 3PO and R2 are taken down into the dungeon space, there are rats everywhere. 3PO's all, so what the hell was this guy doing? Like, obviously he's terrible at his job, so why was he so lickety split on it this time? I guess Bib Fortuna got onto him or something. But I knew as soon as he cut himself off, he was going to show back up later, which of course he did. So yeah, it's good. We've got a cute droid. Yay, we've completed the equation of Star Wars. Awesome.
Hold on. Scuba with the dad jokes. They walk right into the kitchen.
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my God. The droid who burned the feet. Yeah, Jason, that's him. Yeah, the wife. Still on a Star Wars plate? No, absolutely. Wife needs to feel that frisky. Husband, stop. Jesus Christ. All right. So Shanti agrees with you. A Grievous 1.0 for sure. Yeah, we saw that. Bailey, that's what you said when you saw this droid, right?
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, this scene was not necessary. Guys, if you haven't noticed already, I'm very much a let's get to the damn point. And this was very just annoying to me. Sure, I get the whole, I don't know. And I was with Fennic, and I loved Fennic's line later when she's like, can we go now?
Can we go now?
I think, felt that.
Yeah. Fennic was every one of us. You're chasing a droid around. He's holding a droid, Bailey, going, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And
I'm sitting there like, who cares? Quit introducing yourself 57 times. And the droid had to turn himself off. He's like, I don't want to hear. I don't care. And then Fennic is like, can we go now? I thought we were here to get a ship. What are we doing here? God. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this scene for 45 minutes because it's unnecessary.
I don't disagree with you. The comments on this one are off the chain, though. Roger Rabbit droid. Josh needs a puppy. What's the rat catcher droid's first week on the job, Josh? Clearly, Bib likes the hibachi scene, right?
Good for him. I don't need to see it.
Well, at least now we know why Bib gained so much weight. He's been eating constantly, so he's got those guys working.
Oh, some people liked it. If you just cut it out and didn't know what it was, it would be kind of cute and entertaining, but it was very, very Disney.
The scene itself was done well. It just didn't fit in the moment, and it kind of ruined what was going on for me.
Agree. But yeah, I still don't get, and you can see Fennic in the background going, I'm Boba Fett. The droid doesn't care. He turns himself off. I don't know. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, everybody agrees with this at least. Fennic was like, can we go now?
Her facial expressions are amazing, by the way, in this episode.
Well, it's a good thing she's got good facial expressions, because if you'll recall from The Mandalorian, most of the time she was around, all she got to do was this.
I don't blame her. And you know what? That's kind of funny that we know that her being with him is free will. So she's annoyed, but not enough to leave him. So
left for dead on Tatooine, burnt us.
Oh, that's another annoying line. Sir, why do you keep saying you were left for dead on Tatooine? You're still on Tatooine.
If I were the rabbit droid, I'd turn myself. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Silly kitchen scene. And that one and the Mod Podge, the Mod Squad, or whatever you got. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, those were the two scenes I could live without. All the rest of the episode I thought was pretty solid.
Agree. Bailey, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. General Grievous, she was chopping this. Chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Broccoli. Somebody go get that. Thank you. All right. Oh, yeah. It could have been cut. Doesn't move. The story forward. Bailey, how many times have I heard you say this doesn't advance the plot and it doesn't thicken it? Crazy's got a point, right?
To the point. Yes. Yeah. Get to the point.
Matt, I think Matt just argues with us to arguments. Like, first of all, it's good to see you, Matt. But Matt, we're not calm here. Josh has got us all riled up.
You never want to tell a lady to calm down, by the way, Matt. That's dangerous.
Oh, Babylon Beast says stuff like that. They're like, yeah, man tells woman to calm down. Doesn't understand why he's broken into the hospital now. So yeah, for sure. Oh my God. Anyway, but good news. They finally get out of the kitchen. Apparently he stole that droid because we see it later in the food thing. Yeah, right? There's no laughing in Star Wars. Steve-O, chopping broccoli. Oh, and then JT. Chopping. Okay. Chopping broccoli. Anyway, sorry. I've lost control. The last episode when I have alcohol when we're doing this is going to be off the chain. I can.
Oh yeah, it's going to be terrible.
Slave One. We finally get to see this damn ship, even if it looks like it's on the volume and it looks like a digital rendering. We got to see it. Josh, where you at with this, brother?
I was glad, man. I mean, it looked great. It was epic, and it didn't look bad. I mean, to me, it looks no different than the matte paintings that we had in the backgrounds in the original trilogy. It kind of gives it a similar aesthetic. And again, this was a dark scene, so it looked more cinematic the way that I've wanted the series to look as a whole. So, no, I thought it was cool. Yeah, I did. And now, again, his driving skills are questionable, but seeing the ship was nice.
Right.
Now, in the production art at the end, it shows him like pulling a tarp off of the top of it, and it would have kind of been cool to have sort of had a reveal moment like that. Maybe just see the tail of it sticking out, and it's like, oh, I know what that is, and then he yanks it off, and sort of dust flies, and then you see it, a little bit more of a epic unveiling. That would have been kind of cool, but no, I was okay with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Spot on, Josh. Yeah, matte paintings. Bailey, what did this evoke? Any emotional response when we finally get to see what is one of the most iconic ships in Star Wars, especially for us old guys?
I was like, yay, ship. All right, let's get it. That's why we're here. Get it. Let's go. Gotta go. Like, just, yeah.
The writer in you just comes out. You're like, yes, here's a plot point. We're supposed to be plotting. Okay, got it. All right.
Get to the point. Yes.
Was going to mention that, Casey. Everybody check it out. We got the double gonk down here. 2 sets of legs.
Fatty
unfortunately,
gonk.
Yeah, fatty gonk. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it out of the scene.
Yeah, that gonk is thick.
Yeah, THICC.
Poor guy. He got blown up.
He got blown up. Where was it? Here you go. Tina, Fennic going all John Wick here. Bailey, I'd just like to start with you on this one. This, maybe it's because we haven't gotten that many, but this, in my mind, comparatively, awesome battle scene as far as her shooting and fighting skills. Agree?
Yes, finally. Again, this episode was just stuff that I actually wanted to see. So it's like, yeah, I loved it. And again, Fennic is just stealing the show for me when it comes to like getting shit done. So good for her. Liked it.
Josh?
No, I agree. I feel like this director definitely. A lot of people thought that it was supposed to be Bryce Dallas Howard on this episode, but it wasn't. But the guy that did it is Kevin Tencherone, I believe. But he did a good job with it. I felt like the action was intense. It was exciting, and you felt like there was an element of possible threat and. Yeah, it was fun. Again, Boba's a terrible driver. I know, like I said, it was kind of a callback to the ship spinning in the Obi-Wan Jango fight in episode 2, but has Boba not improved in his driving skills since then? Come on,
it's baked into their clone DNA.
Yeah, and again, I thought the hangar was a little bit bigger than that, but no, it was still pretty cool. But it did spin around a lot. It kind of got me a little bit dizzy for a second. I was like, how many times is he going to go in a circle with this thing? But yeah, it was cool. I know it sounds like I'm hating on it, but I did actually like the scene.
Yeah, the whole story would make more sense if Fennic was running things and Boba was just about the other way. Yeah, thank you.
Alan, I could not agree with you more.
Right. I didn't even hit them all, but everybody's like, why is Fennic not in charge and sending Boba
seems like
to go
she
do stuff?
is.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, she is in charge. And I think that's why she's,
That's why she's
There you
okay with sticking around, because really she's the boss.
It's the files of Fennic Shand. That I can get behind.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Absolutely.
That's what it is. It's who's the boss. He's Tony and she's Angela.
Oh, man, with the old school references. Yeah, Boba's like the sidekick. And by the way, Jason says it doesn't have a rear view mirror, so cut him some slack, Josh. Okay. He could have borrowed one from one of those stupid.
I know, right? There's like 50 of them on those things. But he hadn't met them yet, to be fair. So
right.
he didn't know such wonderment existed on Tatooine yet.
No, hold on. There were 2 of them parked outside the Mod Podge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he could have ganked one of those, but maybe he didn't know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So the one thing I got away from this, Bailey, you mentioned it, and I thought that was an excellent point. I actually felt like, although we know that it doesn't happen because we already see the future, I actually felt like Fennic was in danger and in danger of possibly being left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else get that?
Yeah, I definitely got that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that was good. I mean, the fact that even though we know that that's not going to be the case, they still managed to kind of keep us in suspense about it. And I did like that. Yeah. I was a little concerned he was just going to bounce out without her, or she was going to get captured or something.
Right. Or get hurt again. Yeah. And then we were going to, obviously she would hook back up with him because we don't know. But yeah, I actually felt it. And that's one of the first times in this that I felt like one of the characters was in for real danger. Yeah. Good. Josh, let's start with you this time. He gets his ship back. I think he's making a mistake here because Fennic says a whole swoop biker gang took out Tuskens. Like she doesn't believe it happened, but he kind of blows it off. What's going on here, Josh?
I absolutely love this scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
It is what Boba Fett should be doing. Don't ask questions, just blow them the hell away. He just flew up and just done. Now, granted, like we discussed, it seems like the Pikes are probably the ones that were really behind all of it. So it does kind of show how limited his thinking is about the bigger scope of things, but they needed to die anyway. So why not go ahead and take them out? All they're doing is going around roughing up, old Fixer and Camis. So, we need to get rid of them. Killing sand people. They're bad people. Bad seeds.
Not enough for piercing. Oh, Matt loved it as well. Bailey, first of all, do you agree that this was a good scene? Because it was a lot of fun to finally see a ship shooting in my mind. Number 2, Josh mentioned it. Do you think he's being a little simplistic in his thinking, though, that they couldn't have done it, so maybe they were framed?
No, I was like, good. I mean, like, that was like my thought is good. I mean, to me, this is like, again, I'm looking for reasons to care about Boba Fett and to give him credibility to what he does. And this is like, yeah, that's what a bounty hunter should do. It's like, I'm just going to shoot you up. You like killed people I care about, so I'm going to blow you up. So I was like, good. Finally, a ship blowing things up. Finally. So yeah, no, again, a lot of this episode was just like, thank you. This is what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it got to the point.
That's what I want. Let's get to the point, y'all.
Let's get to the point, right? Yeah, right. If the Nikto gang didn't kill the Tuskens, and who did? I mean, I think the Pikes are behind it, but who?
I think that they did kill them. I just think that the Pikes manipulated them into doing it. Okay. Yeah, I think that they played both sides against each other so that they didn't have to pay anyone and they could just get rid of both their problems.
Oh yeah, you did mention that before. Okay. Bailey, I'd like to start with you this time, if you don't mind. We'll head over because he blows up the Nikto bike gang, and now he's on a mission to get his armor back because he's not as convincing without his armor because you can't just waltz in and ask Bib for the ship.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide how I feel about this. It was a little odd the way he did this. Am I right, Bailey, or what's up?
This was once again just proof that Fennic is the boss here. That is, if he wasn't there, he probably would have died. I was just kind of like, like this whole thing about the armor is comical to me. But yeah, anyway, basically he's just, his thought process is I'm just gonna just put the ship in the thing, and I just hope I find something. And then things go wrong, and Fennic is the one that's like, I guess I have to do something. So yeah, this was interesting. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. This was like again, this could have been cut, I feel, or at least not dragged out to the way it was. This whole thing about the armor is hilarious to me because like how many times does a Jedi break their lightsaber and they just make a new one? Like they don't like go out of their way to like go get it. Like whatever. Yeah.
Josh,
don't touch my buttons. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, I was like, all right, that was like, why, we don't need the Marvel comedy, but that's just my thinking. But Josh, as far as this is concerned, it looked odd to me cinematically, and I love asking you this because you and I are kind of looking at this like cinematically as well. It was kind of neat to see the Slave One do that. But what did you think of this?
I realize now where all the money that made the first 3 episodes look cheap as hell went.
Okay.
It looked great. It really did, and it was cool to see that, but it wasn't necessary. It's kind of like they didn't want to give us the Sarlacc stuff that we wanted to begin with, so they wanted to save it for later, like it was something to build up to, which that should have been what we opened with, was some epic Sarlacc struggle. And I'm glad we got it, and it did look cool. It was cool seeing the beak back, that had been added in the special editions. It actually worked in this scene. And again, the visuals looked really good on it. I do think it was as soon as it grabbed hold of him, I knew that he was going to drop one of those like Sonic
drop scare
charges
yeah.
down in there, which was a total fan service thing for when we see it in the prequels and for those that play Battlefront. But it was a cool scene, but not necessary, and it doesn't make sense because, I mean, maybe he was super delirious, but does he not remember when the Jawas came and took his junk from him and knocked him the heck out? I mean, he literally did try to grab one of them. I mean, maybe he just was not paying attention, but at least he should have known that his stuff wasn't in the Sarlacc. He may not have known who took it, but you'd think he would have remembered that someone took his armor off of him after he got out. But again, perhaps he just was delirious or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It was a cool looking scene, but was it necessarily needed? No, I don't think so. And it didn't necessarily make sense with everything else. And again, seeing that wreckage of the sail barge just reminds me that no one should have survived that. Yet somehow some people did.
Yeah.
So
I've got that other picture you sent me, Josh. It's towards
oh, I know. We'll get to it. It's all fine.
Right, cool.
But I'm going to keep bringing it up.
Really?
It bothers me.
So,
you're fine.
Yeah, you know what? Chanti makes a good point here, Bailey. I did not see this coming. I'm not going to lie. I thought the damn thing was dead. So I don't know what's going on with it. And we're not going to talk about Sarlacc biology. But when this thing jumped out, did it have the effect it was supposed to on you, Bailey, or were you just like whatever?
No, maybe I'm just dead inside. But no, I was fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I'm just dead inside. Oh my god, I love you. Oh, related note: Bailey and I have the same last name, even though we're not related. But clearly, maybe we are. She's like, I'm just dead inside.
Maybe there was a mix-up, Paul. Right?
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that. I'd make some trades right now if I could. Not you, Alan. And then you, Bailey, you mentioned it. Here's Fennic fixing stuff again, and then he's got the gall to say, "Don't touch my buttons." How's Bailey?
I was annoyed. He was literally just gripping the steering wheel. It's kind of like being in the car when you're teaching a teenager how to drive, and they're just like frozen, and you're just like, I guess I have to push the brakes. I got to do something. And that's what she did. She got out, pushed the button, and this is fabulous. I think everybody in the comments, I think all Star Wars fans, they know exactly what this is. What went down that pit. We can all hear it. And yeah, she got the job done. She was the competent one here. And I think it's funny how, again, like, we know that her sticking around is of her own free will. If I got us out of something and your thought was, don't touch my stuff, I'd be like, well, I'm not hanging out with you no more. Damn, like just like forgive me for trying. Like, yeah, so no, this is great. I don't know if like we're purposely trying to be corny with the dialogue sometimes, like with the prequels, but that was a line where I was like, huh? What did you just say? Don't touch my buttons. What were you doing?
Right. Yeah, Josh, yeah, thoughts on this one before I move us on here? I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was kind of a funny line. It did feel like Marvel humor, but you know, it was okay. It didn't really bother me that much. I do think it seems kind of like a real jerk move on Boba's part, but because again, he was not doing anything, but just sort of sitting there. I mean, she was the one with all the action, letting herself out of the seat and having to climb up to get it and all that, and then he has the audacity to give her some crap about it. But yeah, it's I don't know. It didn't bother me that much. The humor of it kind of tickled me a little bit.
Let me ask you this one then before I move on, actually, and you guys can both answer if somebody just chime in. Do you think he was being serious, or was he trying to make light of the situation by saying, "Don't touch my buns," but was being funny?
That might have been his way of, yeah, I could see that. I could see him trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think they're at that level at this point.
Oh, okay. Casey's like, it was his clap back to her line. Next time we stick to the plan. Fair enough. That's the best description I've seen. Bailey, is that fair?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Josh, we're going to start with you because I know you love it when I ask you these questions because we're at the campfire scene. Tell me
So
what's
which
going
one
on
is
here.
this one?
So he says, I need muscle and brains. You have both. And basically tells her, hey, I'm gonna put together because she's free at this point.
Yeah.
She did what she said she was going to. She even helps him look for his armor in the pit because she's watering him off after this. Let me ask you this then. She's free, she can go. He tells her what he wants to do. She says, I'll stick around for the long haul. Is it believable that a character like Fennic Shand would go ahead and stay here, or does this bother you, Josh?
I think we don't know enough about her to make it believable, which is why I feel like she could have, could double cross him at some point. Especially the whole stressing that, she's a free agent. She's not indebted to him anymore. So that means that basically at any point she could turn coat on him. And I hope that that's not the case. I want to have faith in her character because I do like her character. But again, we don't know enough about her to really make that type of an assumption. And that's maybe a good thing for the storytelling or maybe a bad thing. I'm not really sure yet. I mean, it may be necessary in order to keep us, sort of in mystique about it, not really kind of keep us guessing. Isn't she?
Right.
If we knew about her, then we wouldn't be guessing. We'd know she was ride or die, or that she might turn on him in a second. But we don't. We just have a little hint of her past, and not really enough. I mean, she seems like a fairly decent person. The way she dealt with Omega seemed fairly gentle, and she didn't seem to be trying to actually hurt the child or anything like that. And she did actually seem to care about her welfare. So maybe she is an okay person, but again, it's too little for us to really make that kind of a judgment call at this point.
Yeah, you know what? And I'll get to you, Bailey, but Pete makes a good point. They could have done this scene in the ship, just to mix scenes up from the campsites, because like 8 campsite scenes, as Josh has pointed out. And then of course, Chauncey's like, please don't turn on him. So Bailey, let me ask you a finer point question here. Is this we've both had near-death experiences, so we're reevaluating ourselves, point in the story from a story writer perspective, or what's going on here? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, you have to consider who these people are. I mean, like I said earlier, they come from a profession that's not, safe and very survival of the fittest. So, I mean, that's pretty common. Like even in life, like some people might do something a dangerous line of work, and they eventually just want to settle down and maybe like have more control of their life. And yeah, no, nothing about that conversation seemed very natural to me. And of course, like this is something that I really like. It ties into the present. Like something that I had grievances with the earlier ones is like I don't understand their motive. Like they're taking over something, or at least Boba is, and it doesn't seem like he has much of a plan. I don't know what his true motive is, and that's what we got from the scene is we have an understanding of why they did what they did at the end of The Mandalorian, and I thought that was fantastic. Like, yes, like that's what I wanted. So yeah. And getting too old for the bounty business. Like, yeah, again, he's human. He doesn't have like magic to like aid him. He's getting old. And it's survival of the fittest. It's not like he, has extended family to go retire. It's not like there's a retirement home to go to. So it's like, might as well make your own. So yeah.
So they're like Danny Glover and Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Or
he's just like, I'm too old for this shit.
Anyway. JT, maybe Boba just amuses her because he does some of the stupidest stuff we've seen. It could be just that simple. She's like, I'm going to hang out with this clown for a little while.
Just see how far this goes.
Yeah, see how far he gets. Oh. All right, Bailey, let's stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Chrysanthemum mad at the Trandoshans?
I was going to ask you that, Paul. I have no idea.
Josh, why is he mad at Why is he mad at the Trandoshans all of a sudden? Is he just bored, wants to beat something up?
No, in the comics, you find out that the Trandoshans had invaded Kashyyyk and killed a bunch of Wookiee, and he escaped, and so he saw them over there celebrating. It probably reminded him of them celebrating over the bodies of the other Wookiee, and after him sitting there long enough drinking, he just lost it and snapped on him. It's definitely not necessarily personal history with those particular ones. It's more just the race in general he has resentment towards.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Because that was before his gladiator days.
All right. Oh, you know what? And in what was it, like the first episode, the Trandoshan shows up with a Wookiee pelt. So, okay. So he's just pissed in general at these lizards.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Special K in the house. I just want to put up something that KC put up because he thinks he's being funny. Boba is ready to retire to start a podcast. I see what you did there. Just so you know, Casey.
So does that make me Fennic Shand?
Well, if that's the case, what does that make Josh?
I'm the Rancor keeper.
Oh, okay.
I'm Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. All right, cool. We all got to
be very loving. Anyway.
Yeah, Bailey doesn't want to talk about Rancors for 15 minutes again. So.
Right. I cannot. No.
I did get a kick out of the fact that we got a 140,000 times character development on Jessica Biel's here than we did in all the other episodes put together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jessica Biel. It's not just Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals. Sorry, Jennifer Beals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm married. I'm old, but I'm still a straight male. That her outfit was fun to look at. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it was the outfit you were looking at, Paul. But it's okay.
The outfit.
I mean, she is 58 years old. That's just all I'm going to say.
51. She's right. She's right in my.
58.
She's 58 years old.
Yeah.
I hope I look like that when I'm 58.
Right. 58.
I didn't take any pictures of the front because I just didn't want the comments to go off. But yeah.
Wow.
Smart.
Yeah, she looks good for 58. I will agree with you on that. So, God. And then Josh, this is yours. So go.
Okay. So this is an image of Max Rebo. Where is Max Rebo? Max Rebo is on the sail barge during the whole Sarlacc scene, at which point it is blown up and everybody dies. After seeing the wreckage of that thing, no one survived that. So the big question is like right before everything went down, was Max like, he turned to Bib and was like, hey, Daddy-O, I need to get up out of here. I got a gig somewhere else. And they just skiffed off somewhere. But again, that doesn't really fit either, because later you actually see Bib Fortuna standing at the window looking out as everything's like about to go down. So I just, how did they survive? How did they get out? It was confirmed in this episode that that's Max. Play it again, Max.
Hit it, Max.
And hit it back. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so what? And did he just leave Sly Snoodles and the rest of them behind? Like, did he just junk the rest of the band? And that's why he's playing with one of the Bith musicians from Mos Eisley now? I mean, but yeah, it's, I don't know. I was a little bit upset. I know it's a little question, but it needs to be answered. If you're going to have these Easter eggs in there, explain why the heck they're there. So that's it. I'm done.
Okay, I think that's reasonable. When I saw Bib Fortuna at the end of Mandalorian 2, I was like, "What? He supposed to be dead?" Bailey, supposition, comments, questions on this? You're just not yet. This is not your jam. You're like, can we just move on to the plot again, right? Okay, yeah.
But these are plot holes.
Yeah, apparently they're not that big a plot hole.
You talk and I listen. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my good. Hey, really quick, there's Shabby. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Shabby.
And everybody agree. JT, the sad part about that scene was that the Trandoshan was out for the first time since his wife had left him.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. And he had his arm ripped off, right? Yeah, so apparently, hey, there you go, Steve. Maybe Blue Dumbo can fly. Who knows? You know what? During the lockdown, like everyone bailed. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, there you go. I'm so happy, John, because I thought I was going crazy. Robot Chicken. If you go watch Robot Chicken, it explains it all in the background, and it's hilarious. He's a musician. He went out for smoke, and everyone started shooting. Yeah, crazy. I feel you on that one. I get back on stage, and everybody's fighting.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, thank God he left some noodles with her. Yeah, oh my goodness, don't get me started on that. Oh no, actually, Jason, she says, right, Josh? She actually looks at him and says,
"Yeah, hit it, Max.
Yeah, hit it, Max."
Actually, well, I mean, unless it's like Max Bleblow or something, it's not Max Rebo. It could be some other Max. Max Headroom.
Maybe with this species, Max is the family name, and then whatever comes next.
It's true.
Maybe
it's his cousin.
Yeah, maybe it's his brother. Who knows? Oh goodness, everybody's saying hi. I love it. All you guys are awesome, but clearly, Shabby's fairly popular. As soon as he gets in here, all the chat like immediately starts ignoring us and goes straight to Shabby. So, all right, well, Josh, I think that's a valid point. I don't think you're being crazy. We got pretty much one more scene that I want to talk about, and something kind of special that I wanted to talk about as well from my perspective. But here we go. It's the Godfather scene. He's getting everybody together. Bailey, we know this isn't super surprising. We kind of saw this coming. Hell, we've been seeing it in the previews for over 2 months now, or a month. But when they say, we're not going to join you, then he says, then don't go against me. His response on that, how did you feel about that? Was that cool, or did that bother you?
No, this was another scene that I wanted from the get-go. Like, I want Boba to establish that I am a boss, and if you don't like it my way, then go away. But if you come against me, I'm going to come back at you. So I was like, again, this was another, like, finally, yes, give me a reason to care about Boba, or like at least give me a reason to think that he can actually do this. And the scene very much did that. So I thought it was fantastic.
Josh, I want your opinion on this, but Joe Blake Skywalker makes a good point. Suddenly, D8 can translate. What happened to needing a protocol droid? You love the plot holes. Please let me know, Josh. What's going on?
I completely agree. I thought about the same thing when he was suddenly started translating. I was like, wait, don't they need a protocol droid? Like, when was he able to do this?
Hold on. I got it.
Oh, go ahead.
The mods took him to the mod podge and had
okay, and they modified AD8. Sure, that works. And obviously, if that's fur and not pants, then Boba's Gamorreans are swimmers, I think, because he likes them. He likes them topless. I'm just saying.
So we're back to these Gamorreans.
I loved this scene, actually. This, I think, was probably my favorite scene of the whole show so far. I thought it was very well executed. It looked cool. It had that Godfather in space feel that I wanted from this show.
That's what I thought this was going to be. Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it. It's like the meeting of the families. And I liked it. He didn't really get what he wanted in the end. They didn't side with him. He had to kind of find a middle ground. And I really like that. I kind of like seeing he's kind of getting his Michael Corleone on. So, I liked it.
Cool. That was what I thought this show was going to be more like. Remember, I asked you guys very first episode, is this going to be like Godfather in space? And everybody was right. It's not like that at all until finally right now. And then I was like, yes, this is good. And then the Sarlacc, that was cool. That's the ultimate screw with me and see what happens. Am I right?
Well, the Rancor, when it popped up, and that was, and I knew that he would use that to threaten him somehow. I wasn't sure if he'd end up actually having him eat one of them or what, but I had a really strong feeling that would, because at this point the only thing they know of is he bluffed having a Rancor.
Yeah.
So the fact that he suddenly has one, that changes the game considerably. So I like that he brought that in there. Plus it gave us a chance to see the mouse droid again because it was all startled, and so
Not the rabbit droid.
or the rat,
Yeah.
rat catcher droid.
Rat catcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so this episode kind of hit close to home to me and Citizen Case, who's in the comments right now, because he and I have a friend who's in the 501st in Southern California. He's in the industry. He does stunt work and acting, and his name is Ardeshir Radpour. He is the guy that's in this makeup. They call it a performance artist. He got to play the leader of the Clatoonians. And I thought that was very cool. He kept it a secret. Only, I think one or two other people knew. I didn't find out until this episode, but that is my buddy Ardeshir playing the character that's in the Jabba's palace. And just to see him on his Facebook, just geeking out over what a great opportunity this was, I thought was very cool. And I think because he's just doing the movements, you guys tell me if you think wrong. I know you're getting way close here. He did a good job because that's not his voice. He's mouthing. Were you happy with this performance, objectively speaking?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Again, like this whole scene to me was pretty perfect. I really had no beef with anything that went on in it. The dialogue, the performances, the look of it, the cinematography, the lighting, all of that. Yeah, I was really very, very pleased with this scene. It's what I've wanted the whole time.
Cool. I'm glad that he was, and he was the only one who could eat while wearing the makeup. If you notice, the rest of them, their mouths don't even move. So he's got this super sit in the chair for a long time makeup on. Now, full disclosure, the voice is actually done by a younger looking guy that's done a lot of other voices in the cartoons. Bailey, he's an African-American, younger, thin guy. I can't think of his name, but he actually did the overdub for the voice while Ardeshir did the performance acting. And I'm such a nerd. I waited for the credits to come by at the end just to see Ardeshir's name. So there you go. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, look at that. Okay. So here's Casey he said he did a very similar voice while shooting. So it was easy to dub over. That's really cool. Casey, thank you for giving me the heads up on this, because I was waiting for this episode to get here and to find out finally it was Ardeshir. I thought was awesome. So congratulations to Ardeshir for getting to meet all these awesome people and being
absolutely.
Yeah. What a dream come true that must be, man. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Last scene. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to put up the picture. Bailey, what'd you get from this? Predictions, please.
Oh, the Mandalorian's coming. Like, now try to take it away. Yeah, end of discussion. Yeah,
fair enough. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's, the music and everything. But I wonder, is it possible, because they're going to need a lot more than just him. He's just one man. So I'm wondering, is she more referencing perhaps another culvert of Mandalorian that are hiding somewhere? Because I always speculated that the title, The Mandalorian, wasn't in reference to the one person. It was in reference to the people as a whole. So at some point in the story, if that's the case, they're going to need to introduce more Mandalorian. It would make sense that there are multiple culverts hidden throughout the galaxy, and they do like they did in the one that Mando was from. They come out one at a time and they take jobs. So, for perhaps Fennic knows of another one or three that they can contact. It's all about money. So obviously whoever they're going with, they're gonna hire. So it seems like they're going the Mandalorian route, but again, is it actually that specific Mandalorian? Is it Din Djarin, or is it some other of his people?
Yeah, they definitely kind of hit you over the head with that. So, Jeff, everybody agrees with you guys. We're getting some Mandalorians, all of them, Death Watch, who knows? But I wanted to put up what Jeff pointed out here, because I would love to see me some more Bill Burr. I'm not going to lie. If they could figure out a way to get him involved, if they brought Bill Burr into this, Josh, and then I'll ask you this, Bailey, but Josh, you were the one that was getting pulled out of it with the cameos. If they brought Bill Burr, would that be cool? Would that bother you, or would you love
that? One didn't bother me.
Okay.
That cameo did not bother me. It bothered me a little bit in the first episode that he was in, because he was very much playing a character that was pretty much Bill Burr.
Pretty much Bill Burr, yeah.
But in the second episode, they did more character development for him. in that one episode, particularly in that one particular scene, than they did for really any of the characters in the entire sequel trilogy. That table scene where he and Din Djarin and that general sit and talk, like the acting is superb from all three of them, and it gives you so many layers of storytelling for each individual. And then the way that it ended with them taking everyone out, and then Bill Burr handing the helmet back to Din Djarin and just saying, "I didn't see a thing," and just showing that respect that had been built between the two of them, because they both had seen each other in a vulnerable state in that moment. So yeah, I thought that was fantastic, and to me, it concreted his character as part of Star Wars. So that wouldn't take me out at all. I think that'd be a cool cameo, and it would fit. He's a gun for hire. So,
Bailey, Bill Burr, yes or no?
Sure.
You like that?
Why not?
All right.
Again,
I like it. Yeah.
Guys, I'm very pointed with my response.
Yes.
You
I love
ask me
it.
a question, I answer it. Let's go.
Absolutely.
No, I just want to see more action of him with his little gun backpack and everything. That was sick stuff. So, yeah, it would be cool to have a couple of former Imperials working for Boba as well, because Fennic is as well. So.
Oh, I'd love to see some remnant stormtroopers switch sides and come. Never mind. We could go off on a tangent on that. But anyway.
Yeah, you just want to see the suits. That's all.
Yeah, well, duh. Seeing a theme behind me here? So, yeah. All right. Well, I tell you, after this episode, you guys, I'm actually excited for next week. I hope they don't let me down. Are you guys excited for next week now?
Yeah.
I can say I'm excited. We are more than halfway through.
All righty.
So I'm very hopeful, and this was definitely a huge step in the right direction. I really did enjoy this episode on the whole. Even those couple of scenes were not enough to pull me out of it by any means. I was very much interested in the progression of the plot that was happening, and it was actually happening, which was nice, and at a reasonably decent pace. And it was a longer episode, and I think that they filled every bit of the time with some amount of substance. So yeah, I didn't hate this episode at all. So if this is the direction we're going, then I hope that it'll be excellent by the end. But at the same time, I'm sad that it took them 4 episodes to get here.
I think I mentioned Casey's in the industry with Artisher. Not saying there's some fun things coming, but he's not allowed to talk too much about what he knows.
Well, there's some big rumors.
Yeah,
there's some big rumors. We might see Han Solo and.
Right. Josh, you're the Eeyore of the podcast.
Kira and
there's EH Studio. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to talk about this real fast. This one has been a lot of fun because Josh, who didn't think he was going to have much to say, never shuts up now. And I love every minute of it. It's so good. But based on that, you have been watching the Book of Boba Fett breakdown with Josh and Bailey. We've been talking about the Gathering Storm episode 4, chapter 4, and we're here every 6 p.m. or every Thursday, 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, if I can ever get this out. Sorry about that. Assuming that the next episode just doesn't let us down and we all quit. So we'll see. But we'll at least be back for next episode to talk about that. I appreciate everybody that has joined us thus far. The chat has been off the chain once again. Some great stuff, some great additions.
Absolutely.
I want to give a special shout out to KC for joining us because he really has helped in a lot of ways, kind of in the background, and it's been very important to me. And then, letting me know about Artisher. But here's where we're at now. So, you guys in the chat, if you want to participate with us, here's the part of the show where I ask these guys to rate 1 to 10. This episode and this episode only. So if you'd like to play along, please put your number rating in the comments. And if it's really high or really low, especially kind of maybe if you feel like it, give me a sentence or two kind of explaining where you're at. But Josh, as always, you're the guest, my friend. This episode only, where you at? 1 to 10, my friend. And real quick, why?
I'd say it's a solid 7. It didn't blow me away, but it was good. It was solid. It wasn't. It didn't have really any huge holes or big things that just threw me off completely. Overall, the look of it was vastly improved from the prior episodes, and but at the same time, it's still lacking what the Mandalorian had at the end of the very first episode, and that's a hook. It is still lacking something that makes me go, oh, what's going to happen next? And I'm sorry, that little bit of music at the end was not enough. If that's what that was supposed to be, then I'm not hooked. I mean, I'll still watch it, but what else am I going to do? But at the same time, I don't want them banking on that being the reason that they get any ratings, is because people are like, well, what else am I going to do? It's Star Wars, so I'd rather people want to see it because they're excited about what's going to happen next, just from as a fan. So hopefully we'll get there.
So as a reminder, you're at a 7 for this one, correct?
7. Yeah.
Perfect. Bailey, this episode only 1 to 10, ma'am. Where you at?
I'm going to give it an 8.
It's
my favorite so far. I've gotten a lot out of it. Things that I've been wanting to see, I got. Really, the only thing that took it away from me was the 2 scenes I didn't particularly care for. But that's it. I don't have any grievances other than that, and I'm excited to see what's next. So yeah, y'all can chill. Right. Yeah, I can enjoy something sometimes. So
right, yeah, this isn't Bad Batch for sure. Well, then for me, I'm gonna go right up the middle then, you guys, because we're allowed 0.5. I'm gonna go 7.5 because I agree with both your guys' points. There's not a hook, but I'm not quite as off-put as Josh was, but I still didn't like those 2 scenes that kind of really yanked me out of the universe, and it's very disconcerting when they do that. So I wish they'd stop. They'd probably get a 9 from me because at least we're getting some action and stuff. So, but anyway, let's head over to the comments and see where we're at. Oh, Chanti got in here fast. She's at an 8.
Of course,
you know what?
We
right, because that's where you guys are. Yeah. Thank you very much. Great episode. Hit the like. I really appreciate that. It's nice of you to say, man. Thank you very much. And she's right. This is a vast improvement. Steve-O, 8. It's great. Yeah, some dad rhymes there. Matt, solid 9.5 out of 10. Most of the pieces are on the board. It's almost go time. I don't think 9 out of 10 is unreasonable. EH Studios, once again, 9.5 as well. Shabby, 7 out of 10. Wow. That's an interesting one, Shabby, because you're usually really more forgiving, I guess is the best way to put that. But Tina's right there with you, Shabby. She's at a 7. Peter, 9. It was, cohesive, which I think you both used that word at some point during this.
Much more cohesive.
Much more. Yeah. Oh, I could. Yeah. God. 7.5, just a little too much filler. Yeah. It's for as little time as they have, they seem to be throwing in some stuff that, I'm Boba Fett. That was a minute we could have done without. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Bailey, close your eyes for a minute. Crazy's at an 8.
I'm not
Crazy's at an 8. Yeah. Linda made a point earlier that I did not get a chance to point. His armor used to be Durasteel, but now it's Beskar, and that irks her. 7.5. And it's little stuff like that, Josh. It's little stuff like that you and we get. And Bailey, I know you do too, because that inconsistency in the story. Jeff, 5. Okay, yeah, there it is. They're gonna have to bring it. I give it 9 out of 10. Fuzzy britches.
It's all about the fuzz,
right? They fixed our Good Morning on Guards for a little while.
They did. They were okay.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Wizzy Wiz. I forgot to say hi to you earlier. 9.5. It's a TV show, not a feature film. Yeah. Seems fairly obvious, but yeah.
But the Marvel stuff to me looks feature film quality, and the Star Wars product should as well.
I agree. You mentioned that at length in one of our episodes where you weren't sure what you were going to say, as I remember, Josh, and I agree. I agree with you. Compare it to our most recent. Started. Yeah, this show, Hawkeye. Come on, man. Yeah. I realize that Hawkeye's set in New York and they don't have to do as much set dressing, but it can be done. Anyway, Casey's at an 8. Finally got rid of the mod squad and the editor. Yeah. 7 out of Cyberpunk Scene was okay. So Mike agrees with us. And if you follow Mike on Twitter, you will see that for the most part, he's right in line with us. That this stuff that jerks us out of the environment. Now Gilster's in on it. Gilster's at a 7. Man, there's no pleasing Mr. Sith Carrier Bond, Miss Bond villain voice. Yeah. I think it's gone downhill after episode 2. Wow. Okay, Gary, that's cool. Sorry, it's a 6. Too many inconsistencies. I can see that though, Josh.
I like your attitude, Gary. I'm all for it.
Yep, cannot complain.
Well, it's okay. You can start off on the high with it and lose it just much as you can be captured along the way. So it's good to see that other people are feeling that way.
There you go. Ed 5's McClunky level 8. I love it. Joba 8, bit more plot, more Fennic, right? What have we been saying this whole time? Why is Ming-Na Wen even here? Oh, now I get it. Flex. 7.5. Too much not funny humor. Yeah, right. I am Boba Fett. I'm a rabbit droid. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. So, oh man.
No, I give the Jennifer Beals scene 10 though.
Ooh.
Just that
I
one
love
scene.
The fight and the costuming and
no, honestly, that one scene was awesome. Like it was really cool. It was cool seeing Black K do that and finally getting to see a Wookiee rip some arms out. And yeah, it was. I liked that scene. I did.
Josh,
it felt Star Wars, and it did kind of progress the plot a little bit.
It did. It actually, because now he's working. I forgot to mention that now he's working for Boba Fett, so we knew that was coming.
Because I defended Jar Jar.
KC, Josh, you guys need to hook up on Twitter afterwards and hash this out. I want to see who wins. Muzza 8 out of 10, but I haven't rewatched it yet, and I'm getting a lot on the second rewatch to prepare for this show for sure. Sorry for mine not being an actual number. No, you said 5, Jeff. You're good. I have not watched any Marvel. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Garza, that's her name. Yeah, she's slick. Yeah, absolutely. And
she's up to some stuff. She's playing every side so that no one looks to see what she's up to. She's doing her own thing. I don't think she's on anyone's side.
I think
she's just nice to everyone.
She a businesswoman. She got
it's
interest to worry about.
She's a smart lady. She's probably one of the more interesting characters they've introduced in the whole series. So
agree. Yep. Her. I've liked Black K and that female Tusken who we're going to get more of, Josh. I just know it.
She is so dead.
Bailey, is the female Tusken dead?
Yes.
Yes. She is Ash.
All right. I like what Tina
says. You don't want to go down a route about the Tuskens with me, y'all. I am the wrong person to have that conversation with. I think Boba is suffering with Stockholm syndrome, but that's like a whole other conversation. So come to me on that.
Fair enough.
She's gone like tears in the rain, man. She's gone.
All right. I'll stop bringing it up then. We're going to start winding it down with this comment though, because I've noticed this. I don't know what they've done with the Wookiees' faces this episode, but Black K's face is really emotive for that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of personality.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Are you seeing that, Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's because they're able to just do that now with the way they can make Wookiees, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool, like what they can do nowadays with mask and whatnot. So yeah. And I mean, and the eyes are the window to this. The eyes, have always been expressive. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, the actor. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Chanti. His side eye is epic. The actor in there is doing such a good job in addition. So
the fact that the eyes are part of his performance, which is something we've never really gotten from the Wookiees before. His facial expressions are a very key element to his character, and I really like that. And he's just beast looking. I give him credit there. Like that was a cool character to bring into it for sure.
Yeah, that dude did such a good job.
I still think Chewie could take him, but that's just me. I love Chewie.
All right, then Chewie can take him, the Tusken females alive, and we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You've been watching, those of you in the comments, those of you watching on the replay, you've been watching the Book of Boba Fett breakdown with Josh and Bailey. I'm fortunate to have these two come here and do this with me because as you guys who watch this show know, I'm a babbling idiot. And these two make me look smart, and I greatly appreciate it. If you've been in the comments since the beginning of this, you joined halfway through or just got here, I know I speak on behalf of Josh and Bailey on this, and we greatly appreciate having you here. It is so much fun to get everybody's input on this, and we just have a blast doing it because of that. Every Thursday, right after the show, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're here, and we'll continue to be here talking about this show until it is over. But with that, we're going to start winding down, and you know how I always do, Josh. Any last words, anything you needed to get out, one more rant or anything before we start winding things down, sir?
No, I'm excited to see what we might get next. So
good for you. That's where I'm at.
Something
Bailey,
different.
Yes. Bailey, how about you, ma'am? Did I miss anything? Anything else you needed to get out before we start heading out?
Nah, I'm gonna go to bed, y'all. So
okay. I'm going to bed, y'all.
I'm going to bed. I gotta work.
All right. Yeah, you know what? Chanti, wonderful episode, wonderful host guest, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tina, great show. Thank you so much. I know I enjoy having Chanti here because she agrees with Bailey. I mean, it's like the two thickest thieves now. So, Steve-O, great show.
Don't encourage her.
Too late. They're both encouraging each other. Tina, bantha kisses to everyone. Pete, thank you. We'll see you soon for sure. Bailey, or excuse me, Linda, later, Paul. Yeah, bring on that Rancor riding Boba. We shall see. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for another excellent breakdown. JT, thanks for always being here. JT is one of our super regulars, like Linda.
That's why Boba is so excited about the Rancor, because he misses his bantha. Like he wanted to snuggle that poor guy. Like he could tell it broke his heart to have to send him away. So that's why he wants a new baby to ride on. So
right. Later, skaters. Matt, you're a pain in the butt, but we love you. Great stream, y'all. Thank you so much. Great show, guys. Later, everyone in the stat. That is a perfect way to go. Flex says night. Good night, everybody. But as always, you know I'm ridiculous, and we got to end this on tradition. So we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.